has nothing to do with what party it is. So we can't say Democrat, Republican, because we all know, as we've said for a while, there's a deep state that just is going to run everything and all the money and everything else. So let's bring in Scott Bassett, a hedge fund dude, to protect all of his hedge fund dudes who've lost a lot of money over the last 4 years with this incredible stock rally we've had.
I think
All
Darren
right.
should join the deep state.
Blood pressure's getting. Oh, that would be the last place I'd want to go. Last place. All right. The final short. Speaking of hedge funds, this section makes me happy.
I know I put this in here for you, Darren. So
you put it in the middle so
free.
I can calm down. I can calm down in the middle of this show and get my blood pressure back down so we can finish.
A little
the rest
namaste
of it.
for you.
Yeah, thank you. So Hindenburg Research, and I put this in one of my 3 things. As soon as I saw that news, it's like, yes, Hindenburg is closing their door or has closed their doors down. Give us a little more information on that. They're the ones that outed Nikola.
So they did Nikola. BS. They've done Carvana. So the guy, Nate Anderson, I think he's been running the firm for, is it like not 9 years, Darren? 7 years? Something like that. So I think he started the firm in 2017, and pretty much he's been one of the big name activists, kind of short sellers in the market. And to be fair, he has picked out some fraud, and then he's also just wreaked some havoc on some stocks. And, he said he's closing down the firm because, more or less that it's stressful. But the real speculation behind this scene is that more or less Trump was like, hey, we should probably look into that guy because he put out a short notice on, is it DJI or whatever that other Trump, whatever the actual DJT. Trump stock is, DJT. Yeah. So, I think he might be doing a little of covering his butt.
A little retribution.
So here's the deal.
Darren,
people
please.
who short. Yeah. The people that short, they do have a purpose. Their purpose is for fraud. That's their whole purpose. But unfortunately, they took it and have taken it way over that. And what they try to do now is short a company down, especially what happened during the COVID. They tried to pick all these different companies and short them to hell and back, and then basically get their money completely back because they don't have to pay it up. Because once you bankrupt a company, you get all that money you put into shorts. You don't have to pay it. So you get 100% return. And basically that's where this whole meme stock thing came from, and where the Reddit people came from, and where all of the apes came from, is to fight against these people who are trying to bankrupt 100-year-old American companies. And that's what it became. Instead of making money, it became a purpose and a mission for the apes to go against these guys who are so greedy that they made all this money, but they don't want to just stop down there with making 90% of the money. They want to go all the way. And that final 10%, they want to push it to where they get all that money back too. So that's where we became, the apes, if you will, became warriors against. And it was like, we got to a point, it's like, I don't care if we lose money. I want to make sure that we stay in this thing just to keep them from winning. And that's really what it came about. So I'm going to talk to my fellow ape here. Go ahead. I see some thoughts going through your brain there, Banker. Go ahead.
Oh, no, there's just a little bit of irony there because, these company like Hindenburg, and then you go back to like Citron, which has a little bit more of a murky past. Hindenburg has some accusations and they have done things, but realistically, they're the ones that are kind of, when times of regulations go away, they're the ones that kind of come in, swoop in, and expose what you can say would be, the truth, or at least, opening the veil a bit. And so they're the ones that are kind of coming in and kind of helping out, saying, look, you're being scammed. Like, this is not a good stock. You should not be putting your money into it. And so I know that a lot of people with Citron, when they were just brazenly shorting a stock by releasing nonsense, guys like Hindenburg are, I don't know to say necessarily like the champion of truth, but they do, they are the ones that kind of really ultimately were trying to expose actual bad companies. Now, yes, they did have short positions in that, but it's one of the few ones that I kind of believe wasn't actually one that was really trying to just short and distort. They're the ones that are like, hey, I've got this story coming out. I'm going to buy some stock or I'm going to buy a short position in this. I'm going to release that position. It's technically not legal, technically not illegal, very much a gray area, but they would come out and do it. And that's why he's retiring, because he's got all the money that he needs for him and his family. And he even came out and said as much. I don't have any specific reason. It's just, I've got enough money. I'm fine. I've proved what I need to prove. I've done what I've needed to do. And now I'm just kind of going out at the top, which a lot of people don't get to do. But, Daniel kind of posed the question is like, why, or is this going to be, I guess what's the ultimate reason why he was shuttering it now, 3 days before Donald J. Trump comes into office? Yeah, I mean, he might have been poking the bear with DJT. He may have, had been snooping around into that but the funny thing is, like, I really think it's kind of like two market manipulators going head to head, because Trump is, what we've just discussed with all these coins, like, isn't really, really good market manipulator. He is opportunistic and can, knows when he wants to, like randomly drop a coin and capitalize on the momentum. And, the opposite is true with Hindenburg. They were capitalizing on what they had and they attacked at the right time, going back to Nikola. And I think there was an Indian guy, billionaire, that they attacked ruthlessly. And then now, recently they've had several other ones and they've rolled out the last bit that they had and they've capitalized on their opportunities. And so you got to wonder, like, maybe he's just like, I don't want to mess with Trump. He's an expert manipulator. I'm going up against the best. And so I'm just going to bow out.
It's been a huge
there's a wink and a nod, and then eye contact, and then keep going.
Right.
Yeah. There's been a huge and it's ongoing, and it's been going for years. A short investigation going on throughout the whole stock market, and one of these guys that went down is evidently giving up some other short sellers and what they've been doing, etc. So, he's screaming as he's going down and being held down. He's screaming about the other ones and what they've done. So I'm curious to see if, first of all, which I doubt now with the new administration, anything's going to happen, anything further with it. But it'd be interesting to know, and I guarantee you there is no such thing as Freedom of Information Act anymore, because they won't, we lost the blue sheets or whatever it may be that they just can't seem to find. But that is going on, and I'm curious if that's even going to be a thing anymore. This whole investigation into shorting and short and distorting. I think that's all I have to say. I think I've gotten it all out there. Royce, any last words on shorting before we?
Oh yeah.
Do you feel better, Darren?
Dang it! No, because Royce is about to reverse everything. Go ahead.
I'm not going to reverse anything. Basically, the stock market was made to go up. Period. Right? For people who don't have money, they play with options and they buy things hoping that they go the other direction. That's hope. That's not a strategy. People who short the market, they're selling the lower price goods. It's like you're undercutting, like you're going to a grocery store and it's like, okay, how do we drive all these people who want the price up here? They got $3 eggs. You know what? I'm going to sell them for 50 cents. Who wants them at 50 cents? Right? And so they basically destroy the market. And then once they destroy the market, they've cornered the market, and then they can buy it back and have 3 times, 4 times the amount of stock without much effort. So it's a strategy. Is it criminal? No, it's not criminal. You're not gouging. You're just trying to say, I'm not willing to pay, $400 for Tesla. I'll buy it at $100. I'll buy AMC at $3 or $4. I'm not going to buy it at $20. And everyone that wants it at $20, let them pay $20. But I'm going to sell this option or sell this option to buy it at $4. And if you don't like it, deal with it.
But that's more of like the Citron strategy. Like that's the one where they're literally just putting out garbage articles based on they're connecting some random dots that may or may not correlate. and then they're going to drive the price down. They're going to bring up, they're going to instill investor skepticism into the stock, and it's just going to slowly drive the price down. Then Citron would come back and would end up buying up either a vast majority of the shares, become a majority owner, like that. That's the short and distort that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm okay getting out of the market.
It's like, hey, it's an auction, so
but it's a fake auction
if
because
no
it's
one's bidding, the price can't help but fall.
Yeah, but if you have,
but that's exactly who Trump is going to go to war with, and I'm okay with that.
Let's bring up a random investment comp. Let's talk about Citadel, just randomly, and if you control everything from the initial action to the very end action, and you can make everything in between happen, and you can have these market makers, you can totally clear out bids and ask and get a price down to where they want to get it. Possibly, maybe they do that. Maybe I've seen it all of a sudden, just everything clears out and then drops down $5. Just how does that happen? Wow. You mean there were no bids in between? I guess not. But I mean, this crap like that, and when you do illegal stuff like that, then that's when I have a problem with it. If you short something and then illegal? Get to clear out every bid that was there 2 seconds ago, you don't think that
clear them out. You let's. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
I know you are. I know you are.
Right, but what's to prevent it from being legal? Like, okay, Josh says I don't want to buy, and I'm going to keep picking on AMC. I don't want to buy AMC until it's $4. He puts a limit order out there. All those limit orders are out there, and then eventually they get enough limit orders out there. The market makers just go, no bidders, no bidders, no bidders, no bidders. We're going to absorb all of that, so that way we can pull these people in. That's not illegal. That's just a market being.
That's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens.
You got to have a buyer for the seller and the seller for the buyer. Otherwise,
yeah. But if a buyer's on your team and the seller's on your team, then you get together and you create a game plan to drop a price down. That's why they call it laddering.
No, that's why they. That's the best kind of team.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
One in cahoots.
You can't get together and talk about it, but you can say, I see all that level 2 data where all this, that's public information. I see all this level 2 data that everyone wants to buy it at $4. You know,
but level 2 is not a free service. It's not exactly public
for
information.
For a retail investor, maybe not. For every institution, oh yeah, that's basically public.
And then when you see these little these houses like Goldman Sachs that they show their little their initials, and where they layer these prices, and which is the 10,000 here, 10,000 here, 10,000 here, and they ladder it and layer it, and then anytime the price gets near that 10K, they drop it. Which you can't do that. That's illegal. You're not supposed to do that. They use these illegal maneuvers to manipulate prices up and down, in my opinion.
Don't worry, it'll be legal in like a few months.
It'd just be same as it always has been, which is passive. Well, I don't see anything. I don't see anything at all.
Right. Oh, they get caught for spoofing every now and then. Relax.
No, I know every now and then. Exactly.
And they get like $1 million. They get $1 million fine on a $5 billion portfolio.
There you go. No, they get this dude who just started 5 years ago in investments off in a place out in the middle of California. Oh, you did the spoofing. But I didn't see all that spoofing that Goldman Sachs did that shows when they did it, when they removed everything.
He's calling out names. I got to drop.
I have videos. See
you guys next week.
I have videos. All right.
Darren's like TMZ for the stock market.
I still say, in my opinion, that's what happened. All right, so let's go.